So I get quite a few comments asking me how exactly these rods go in the ground one after another. I'll try to show you right now without actually drilling. So here's my joysticks. This side here, it's the rotation of the rod for this joystick. So I pull it back towards me, it goes clockwise, and I push forward and it goes counterclockwise. This joystick is the push. So you can't really see, but it pushes the rod forward and brings the rod back. When I pull back to me, the rod comes back. When I push forward, it goes forward. So if I push this head out, I push this joystick forward. It's not revved up, so it's going to go fairly slow. It pushes all the way out. Once I finish a rod, I turn on this switch. That activates the front vise, switch off and on. And it basically grabs the rod. Now after this, I can rotate this back section, because this is the rotation, but what it does rotate, it rotates the little chuck down there. So if I rotate this counterclockwise, it's going to break off of that front rod. You'll see here. It broke off, and now I pull it back, and you can see there's no rod on the end of it. See? I broke off of the thread and pull back, and that's how you put on the new rod. Now when you actually want to bring another rod in, you pull this carriage back all the way, and then you see the rack of rods. This button here in the middle, it drops the rack. So it drops the rod I need onto my arms, and then I can bring the arms out and it'll bring the rod to me like this. Once it's at, I can push the carriage back into this rod, and it'll end up pushing itself onto the old rod, the first one that I pushed on. Now I can raise the rack with this button here, and it brings the whole thing up, and now I can bring my arms in because we don't need it anymore. And if I keep rotating, it'll end up tightening to that first rod. You'll feel it tighten, you'll see it tighten. I'll keep going right there. You could hear it too when you're on the machine. I'm tight, so it's tight. Now I just turn off that front vise, and now I'm ready to drill another rod. Now when you're pulling back, it's a little bit more complicated if you're a new driller. So it'll stop you at the right moment in time. The old drills don't, but this drill will stop you automatically. You can see that little guide in between those two white stickers there. You can see where that guide is, vertical guide there. That's where, on my drill at least, that's where you stop. And you flip the front vise like the first time, but now you also flip this back vise. Basically it stops you where the joint is in the rods, and it grabs on between the joints. If the joint's here, and what you're doing is you're grabbing onto both sides, the first rod and the second rod, and you're cracking it with this back vise. You're cracking this rod off the first rod. So it's doing this, and it's just cracking it. So you'll see this button here, it cracks. You'll see it like that. That's it. And then you can turn it off, and it's done, and all you do is rotate counterclockwise to thread off of it, and then you pull it back until the next position right here where my marker is. And now it's off of that first rod, but we need to get it off of the truck. So we're going to flip this back vise on again. Now we're tightened onto this rod, and that front rod's done. So that front rod is just, all it's being held on by is that front vise. Now we're grabbed onto this back rod, we can crack that back piece there. See how it threaded off? Now I can pull it back, and I forgot to put my arms out. See how it dropped in the back? I just needed to put my arms out like that. Yep, see, it latched on. Now we can lower the rack, the middle button again, and we pull in this rod back into the rack, and now we just go back with the truck by pushing this forward again, and start rotating slowly, and we're going to attach onto that first rod. And we're going to keep rotating, and you'll see it tighten. There we go. And now we can pull it. Now we can pull this first rod back. And that's what you do in the ground. It's all the same. When you're pushing forward, when you're drilling out, it's pretty easy, but when you're pulling back, there's a lot more to it.